My girlfriend's ultimate betrayal, the shocking revelation of how I discovered her hidden web of deceit and infidelity, exposing the unthinkable truth that she was secretly engaged in affairs with 4 different men, a heartbreaking series of betrayals that shattered my world, undermined our trust, and forced me to question everything I once believed about love and loyalty. I never thought I'd be posting something like this online, but here I am, finally getting this off my chest. For 3 years, I believed I had found my forever. I was saving every spare dollar for that perfect ring, imagining our future together, and planning all the little details of a life built on love and trust. But everything unraveled one fateful night when her phone started blowing up at 2 a.m., again and again. At first, she insisted it was just work stuff. But come on, 2 a.m.? There was something off about the constant, unexplained notifications that shattered the quiet of the night. Despite every warning I'd ever heard about invading a partner's privacy, my gut wouldn't let me rest. Curiosity and dread wrestled inside me until I finally caved in and checked her phone. What I discovered made my world collapse. There were messages, no, entire conversations, with not 1, not 2, but 4 different guys. Separate chats full of flirty banter, lewd photos, and plans for secret hookups that I never wanted to see, and the worst part? They were laughing about me behind my back. One of these guys turned out to be my best friend, someone I'd trusted since childhood. Then there was her boss, which felt like the most cliché betrayal of all. Our friendly neighbor, the one person I thought I knew well, was also involved. And finally, the so-called gay friend she'd always been seen with turned out not to be gay at all, just another player in her game. For 8 long months, while I was grinding away at double shifts to secure our future, she had been leading a double life, a secret life that slowly poisoned every ounce of trust I had in her. When I finally confronted her, I had expected tears, maybe even desperate pleas or denials. Instead, she laughed, a cold, mocking laugh. "Took you long enough to figure it out," she said, as if my discovery was a long overdue punchline to some joke. She dismissed my pain by labeling me too predictable and admitted she was simply bored. Later, my so-called best friend texted with empty platitudes like, "It wasn't personal and these things happen." In that moment, I felt utterly betrayed and inconsolable. I gathered my belongings that night while she nonchalantly went out to clear her head, which, judging by the evidence, probably meant another encounter with one of her secret lovers. I couldn't stay in that environment any longer. I made the gut-wrenching decision to leave everything behind. I moved to a different city, blocked every single contact from her and those involved, and started therapy to help mend the shattered pieces of my heart. In the solitude of my new surroundings, I began the arduous process of rebuilding my life, from scratch. Every day was a battle against the intrusive memories of deceit and betrayal. But slowly, I started reclaiming my sense of self-worth. Therapy became my anchor during those turbulent times. I poured out every thought and emotion into a journal, channeling my anger and pain into words. Writing became a cathartic exercise, a way to understand the complexity of human relationships and the raw, often unpredictable emotions that come with love and betrayal. I learned that the depth of my hurt was directly proportional to the trust I had invested, a trust that had been so brutally shattered. Yet, within that pain lay invaluable lessons about the importance of self-respect, the need for honest communication, and the necessity of setting boundaries that protect one's heart. In my new city, I started over in more ways than one. I discovered small joys I had long forgotten, the simple pleasure of savoring a perfectly brewed cup of coffee at a quaint local cafe, the solace of long walks in a park where autumn leaves whispered stories of change, and the unexpected kindness of strangers who shared their own stories of heartbreak and healing. Each new day was a reminder that while the scars of betrayal might never completely fade, they didn't have to define my future. One turning point came unexpectedly during a solo road trip along the coast. With nothing but the open road and the sound of crashing waves for company, I found a strange sense of freedom. As I drove along the winding roads, the vastness of the ocean before me seemed to mirror the endless possibilities that life still held. The journey allowed me to reflect on every moment that had led me to this point, the late-night texts, the deceit, and ultimately, the painful realization that I deserved so much better. The road trip wasn't just an escape, it was a pilgrimage toward reclaiming my identity and embracing a future untethered by past mistakes. During this time of introspection, I met a variety of people who helped me understand that heartbreak, as devastating as it feels, can be a powerful catalyst for growth. I encountered a retired professor who shared stories about the unpredictable, twists of fate, a compassionate waitress who listened without judgment, and even a street musician whose soulful tunes captured the raw essence of loss and renewal. These brief encounters gradually stitched together a quilt of wisdom and resilience, reassuring me that every person's life is a tapestry of both light and dark threads. As the seasons changed, so did I. The cool embrace of fall, with its crisp air and vibrant hues, symbolized the transformation happening within me. I began to see that every painful experience carried with it the seeds of new beginnings. I enrolled in night classes to further my education, which not only broadened my horizons but also introduced me to a diverse group of people. Sharing experiences with classmates who had also faced their own battles helped me to slowly trust again and to open my heart to the possibility of genuine connection. Then, when I least expected it, love found me again, but this time on my own terms. I met someone who, unlike my ex, valued honesty and transparency above all else. Our connection was built on mutual respect and a shared desire to heal old wounds rather than hide them. We took our time getting to know each other, discussing our fears, our hopes, and the lessons we had learned from past mistakes. With every conversation, I felt the heavy weight of my previous betrayal gradually lift, replaced by cautious optimism and a budding sense of hope. Though I still carried the scars of my past, I was determined not to let them define my future. This new relationship wasn't perfect. Nothing truly worthwhile ever is. But it was real. We navigated our differences with open communication and built a partnership where both of us felt safe and valued. I learned that trust, once broken, can be rebuilt slowly over time with patience and understanding. The new love in my life wasn't a bandage to cover old wounds. It was a testament to the fact that healing is possible, even after the deepest of betrayals. Looking back now, I see that the betrayal I experienced wasn't just an ending, it was a beginning. It forced me to confront uncomfortable truths about who I was and what I deserved. It taught me that forgiveness isn't about excusing the actions of those who hurt you. It's about releasing the grip of bitterness so you can move forward unburdened. I realized that sometimes the pain of losing someone who was never truly yours is the price of finding the strength to rebuild yourself. Every scar, every sleepless night, and every tear shed in solitude has contributed to the person I am today, a person who is stronger, wiser, and more resilient than I ever imagined possible. The journey from heartbreak to healing has been long and arduous, filled with moments of despair and small victories alike. Yet, through it all, I discovered an inner strength that I never knew I had. Now, as I share this story, I do so not to relive the pain, but to honor the journey of transformation that followed. I hope that anyone reading these words who has experienced similar betrayal or heartache can find solace in knowing that while the road to recovery is often steep and lonely, it eventually leads to a place of peace and self-acceptance. The memories of my past still linger, but they no longer hold me captive. Instead, they serve as reminders of how far I've come and the endless possibilities that lie ahead. In sharing my story, I want others to understand that it's okay to feel broken at times, that it's normal to question your worth when trust is shattered, and that there is always a way to rebuild, even when it feels impossible. Life is a series of chapters, some filled with joy, others with sorrow, but every chapter plays a crucial role in the narrative of who we become. My journey taught me that even when love is tainted by betrayal, the capacity for growth and renewal remains. And in that growth, we find our true strength, a strength that can transform even the deepest wounds into a source of power and hope. So here I am, still moving forward, still learning, and still believing that every ending is just the start of a new, sometimes even more beautiful beginning.